nuance in tech, pop culture, and what have you since 2017. Extreme close-up time. I'm actually gonna read the review that I have on my website, and you're just gonna like pay attention and hopefully it doesn't look awkward that my eyes are like looking down or whatever. Anyway, here it is, check it out. We're gonna read the BGVP review straight from my website. It's gonna work, man. It's gonna be freaking awesome. Nothing like this has ever been done in the history of wannabe popular online review YouTube websites. Okay, let's go to the top. Let's read the disclaimer. Begin Audio sent the DM7 to me for the purposes of this review and the facsimiles I personally publish around the internet. Many thanks, Begin. Inside, the DM7 sports 6 balanced armature drivers per side. It also is crazy sensitive, and it goes for $299. You can find all about it at the DM7 website here. Kind of misread that. It's all right. Probably all right. BGVP's DM6 was lots of good, but not full of everything that Nathan Wright craved. The sort of thing that Nathan Wright craved was spacier, had brighter upper mid-range, and bristled with gobs of stereo tail in every frequency band. What Nathan craved was the DM7. It is fortuitous that, thanks to Begin Audio, he got a hold of one mere weeks after reviewing the DM6. If you want to see my longer form review, check it out at Headfonics. Oh man, no mistakes. Ow! Alright, the company straddles the border of tri-fi and hi-fi, but it is both more brand and market aware than the former and comes to market with sound qualities and packed in tech atypical to the price points. Atypical of much of tri-fi, BGVP are intent on brand development. The BGVP nomenclature is worse than SARS, and I was there in 2003, and is something I hope never to have to utter in a video. Nevertheless, the list of BGVP FOTMs, that's fads of the month or flavors of the month, I'm not sure which, it's one of those two, is piling up, and the DM7 is destined to find a good niche among them. It packs all the good of the DM6 but suffers none of its meh. As such, it is the BGVP tailor-made for moi. Note, I've since reviewed the BGVP DMS, which I both prefer to the DM6 and the DM7, though not because it is technically better than the latter. It just fits my listening habits better. It is a little awkward, isn't it? All right. Anyway, check out the reviews at Omimage. I got a homage to the BGVP DMS, as well as Photocoland review, DMS. Obviously this review is here, so let's just scroll down a bit. Of the DM6, my daughter said, "It's so pretty." Of the DM7, she said, "Can I touch it?" From a style perspective, the DM6 better catches the eye. While nice to look at, the DM7 won't cause you to suck in a hard lungful like you're looking at a 1990s Claudia Schiffer. In contradistinction to the DM6's airy body, the DM7 almost brims to its faceplate with hardened resin. Under it, fingerprints and other blemishes are almost nil, making the DM7 among the cleanest custom-cum universal earphones at its price point, if not higher. Scroll down. The soft-sided cable is highly resistant to touch nose and mildly resistant to hard racking. Its next cinch is plastic nubbin that really wants to be a dwarf marble. You won't be able to dangle a dining room table from it, but a clotheslining a pup, you betcha. I prefer the DM6's L-shaped plug, but it is too much of a good thing, really weighing down the cable and earphones. The DM7's straight plug, while trickier to deal with in the trouser pocket, is lighter and stresses the earphone less. Both have decent stress relief at the stereo plug, but none at the MMCX ends. Two key differences between the DM7 and the DM6 are contained within the sound tube and mounting flanges. The DM7's flanges lack locking channels. As such, the DM7 is a much pure custom-cum universal design, appearing almost like a universal demo set sold to distributors. And where the DM6 sports a shared sound tube, the DM7 splits the channels all the way to the mounting flange. In my opinion, the DM6 looks better, but as it regards insane driver counts in price-conscious designs, detailed, under-the-hood implementation is of paramount importance. Could BGVP do better? Hell yes. At this price point, however, should I expect them to? I'm not sure. The DM6's light-shaded box visibly indicates nothing about what it houses. The DM7's darker box fronts a DM7 designed wireframe. Its high-res audio badge jumps out from the darkness. Visually, it is upscale and better indicates what's inside. Visuals don't clash, and both placement and legibility of typographical details are very good. The simple inner box is tough and holds everything firmly. Everything includes 10 earpieces, one in foam, and both hard and soft-sided silicone in shades from black to clear. As far as comfort is concerned, the grey tips, which are free of lateral seams and which pinch easily, are tip-top. The black tips straddle the line between soft and hard. The translucent tips are too hard for my sensitive ears, but probably return the most neutral sound. I'm not sure what BGVP were trying to emulate in the DM7's faceplate. It looks like polished granite. It is nice, but it sort of ghosts out the BGVP logo. The DM7's packaging is nicer than the DM6's, and the layout is more professional. I'm glad that BGVP are working this because shedding chi-fi look and feel is important for a brand. If only they think of changing up their name. Let's talk about sound now. First, the bad news. The DM7 hisses a lot. It hisses more than the CK10 and almost as much as a high-dis MS4. This is a real shame for us mini-dis users whose Sonys and older Sharp units really make known the pitifulness of their amps. Your FIO M6 and M3 will hiss. If you're an AK guy, your SPM 1000M, a brand new player, is gonna hiss. Your AK70 and your AK72 Mark II are gonna hiss. And it's a real shame. The DM7 sounds like a Frankenstein of the DM6 and CK10. The DM6's warm lows and mids sneak in, as does a good bit of the CK10 signature high range clarity and stage width. Because the DM7 is brighter than the DM6, it feels airier at the ear. Parts in the high mids and highs that the DM6 veils, the DM7 reveals. Don't get me wrong, I love warm highs and even slow rolls off. But for me, they have to be done in the context of a wide, warm mid-range and texture-rich or melty lows. The DM6 doesn't perfectly do either, and therefore leaves listeners like me stranded between two worlds. At times, I wish the DM7 had as wide a stage as the CK10, but at other times, I really like the median straddling the line the DM7 takes. It shows average to good stereo detail along most frequency bands. Neither stretches as far to the left or the right as the CK10, or as far forward on the Z-axis as monsters from Ocharoku, which take 2 steps forward to the DM7's 1. Of prime import are the mids, whose stereo image isn't compressed between uber detail highs and hard edge lows. In fact, DM7 mids brim with above average levels of texture and stage detail. Given the right music, they may even pop, drawing all focus into themselves. The DM7's Y-axis rises as high as the forehead, while the X-axis pushes as far as the shoulders. Contained within the sphere is good separation and good to great environmental response. And those mids are more emotive than their analogs in the DM6, and certainly more so than in the boxy Yinyu D2B4. While the DM7 doesn't appear to output more bass than the DM6, it may show more low-range detail, especially in stereo cues. Following suit, its lows trump forward about a step beyond neutral, but definitely nowhere near bass monster territory. When pressed, fast-paced music can nearly throb with low-end pressure, but response evens out beyond 70 Hz, rendering sub-bass material nearly inaudible. Ergo, you won't hear much sub-bass in the yawning opening seconds to Marcus Scholl's main stage. You also not get reverb-induced bleed, bloom, or stultified decay. While brighter than the DM6, the DM7 isn't bright in the CK10 sense. The good of this is that it never approaches sibilance in any genre, nor does it get overly hot, and it certainly isn't peaky. High-range stereo detail comes to the fore more through the DM7 than the DM6, and joy of all joys, mids stand out more against highs, making music of all kinds funner to listen to. Because it sits so comfortably between the DM6 and CK10, it edges out the Yinyu D2B4 to be my current favorite non-MS4 custom cum universal chi-fi earphone.
Update, I like the DMS even more than that, but you know, whatever.
It totally nails my favorite genres of trance, electronic, and loads of other fast, bassy genres. It is great. Alright, let's get the summary done. Apart from hiss and overall sensitivity, the DM7 is gold. It does what the DM6 appeared to have tried to do, but better across the board and with greater clarity. It is warm where needed and detailed in all the right spots. It shows a bit less bass response than the Yinyu D2B4, but it is more emotive in the mids. While I prefer the DM6's flange and color, I prefer listening to the DM7 hands down. $299 is pushing the envelope, but because the DM7 packs in 6 drivers per side, its cost and performance ratio is high. It's just that the higher you go on the price scale, the less you get in return. Are 6 drivers that much better than 2? In some ways, sure, but overall not really, especially if those 2 drivers are well implemented. If you want more than 2, try 3. If you want more than 3, try 4. If you want more than that, try the DM7 before you try the DM6. In the context of drivers galore marketing, the DM7 is worth the hullabaloo.